podcast with Jill and Terry Eckersley, and we're talking about compassionate leadership. Today we're going to be talking about sustaining compassionate leadership. So it's okay thinking, right, we'll be compassionate leaders, but how do you sustain that? And I think a good key first is you can't be judgmental. You've got to be forgiving, you've got to be loving, and that's an issue with the individual, me or you, from our heart towards people. Because if you've got any judgment or bitterness or unforgiveness, then you become harsh. So you can't do that. You've got to walk in forgiveness, walk in love, to be a compassionate leader. It's true, isn't it, Jill?
Definitely.
And that's the challenge, and it always brings it back to us. How can I develop? How can I grow? How can I be a more compassionate leader? We're talking about sustaining compassionate leadership.
Yeah.
Welcome to our final episode in this series. We'll discuss how leaders can sustain compassion through their careers. We've just given a great introduction and key at first. Walking in love, not judgment, in forgiveness, and being compassionate, not harsh or judgmental. And a great quote is John C. Maxwell, the great leadership guru. People don't care about how much you know until they
know how much you care.
How much you care. Great quote. But better than a quote, it's a great lifestyle. People have got to know you care. We've just had a great meeting now. We've given certificates out, awards, blessed people financially, fed people, honoured them, affirmed them, and they know how much we care, because it's not just words. Words are important.
Yeah.
But what about if you can feed somebody? What if you can give them an honour, a certificate? What
Absolutely.
if you can encourage them and listen to them? So that's what we do. This quote of John C. Maxwell, people don't care about how much you know unless they know how much you care, encapsulates the importance of the demonstrating care in leadership. We'll explore practical steps leaders can take to maintain compassion. And I think the first thing about maintaining compassion, Jill, is good work-life balance.
Yes.
Having rest. Because otherwise, if you're not, things tick you off quick.
Yeah, it's true.
And you can be harsh. But when you're chilled and rested...
It's true, yeah.
Isn't it? And even as much as eating well, putting good things in your body, nutrients, not having too much stodge and sugars and caffeines and all this
Absolutely.
that'll wire you.
Yeah.
Self-care and self-compassion and self-love comes first. Somebody said, what's the scripture for this, Terry? I'm glad you asked. And let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds. Consider it, think about it. How can I spur Jill on? How can I spur that person on or that person? And Jill knows I do it regularly. I'm always considering how I can spur people on.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when everything tells me not to do that, I'll reach out to 5 more people and spur them on. Hebrews 10:24. This calls for leaders to actively encourage and uplift their teams.
Yeah.
Let us consider how we can uplift our teams, people in our teams. Jill does it often. She'll get people gifts. Give them things. Say nice things. Challenge them. We challenge people tonight. Yes, you was challenged on your resistance to change factor, but look what you did when we challenged you.
Absolutely.
And growth only comes outside the comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Life lesson, strategies for sustaining compassion. Regular check-ins with people.
Yeah.
Open door policies, which we have, but an open door policy doesn't mean an open messaging or texting or WhatsApp policy. No. Pleasant boundaries in emergencies. Yes, if it's not an emergency, save it till we see you at the next team meeting.
Absolutely.
Or the next meeting. There's a couple of times a week to do that. Regular check-ins, open door policies and team building activities can help maintain a compassionate culture. That's what we do every week. We do it twice a week, 3 times, 4 times a week, but we actively do it on a Thursday night, and it's brilliant. Share a success story from a leader who implemented these strategies effectively. Go on, share something from your life, Jill, where you've implemented some of these strategies effectively.
Yeah, I think, there's probably lots of times where, and it's interesting, isn't it? I was listening to something today. We can't control other people. We've tried, haven't we? We all have tried to do that, where we think, right, this person is really, you know, rah. But yeah, I think hopefully this answers this. But I was quite a young manager. Obviously, like enjoyed helping people, supporting. But sometimes when you're new at the game, people can be a bit sneaky, and once you get to know them, they can be a bit, oh, I don't really want to do that, and you think, oh, I won't do it. Or I had one older lady, bless her, a lovely lady, but every time I showed her how to do something, she'd say I hadn't shown her, which you can imagine after a while. Well, this one day I just, yeah, I didn't take it well. And I could have actually spoken better to this lady, but I actually, it was the last straw, and I really said, you know, was very harsh with her really. But I can remember afterwards feeling absolutely terrible and thinking that wasn't right. I shouldn't have, you know, regardless of the fact that it wasn't true, I shouldn't have been like. So anyway, I bought this lady some flowers.
Good, compassion.
And I came in and I apologised to this lady. Equally, I had showed her how to do these things, but I didn't have a right to be rude and angry with her because I was frustrated with the situation. I'd asked other people, does this person do this with you? No, just with me. So, you know, equally, I learned a strong lesson there that you've got to keep your patience. Don't allow people to maybe, you know, you've got to deal with some of your triggers as well.
And if you would have nipped it in the bud and not allowed her to do it, so you was at least 50% responsible.
Absolutely. And I was inexperienced in my job. You know, but equally, I learned a valuable lesson that day to treat people with respect. Don't allow them to push buttons. Stay calm, and thankfully, we did stay on good terms. But yeah, I was in my 20s then, so I learned some good lessons.
That if you do blow it and you're a bit harsh, you can always remedy it by jilt up flowers, gifts, apologised. Amazing. So that's a great strategy. What did the compassionate leader say when asked how they stayed grounded?
I don't know. Terry, what did the compassionate leader say on how they stay grounded?
I take my leadership with a grain of salt and a sprinkle of empathy.
Yeah.
So that's good, isn't it? Empathising, trying to understand how they feel. Or it's interesting because, and this is the first time I've mentioned it, I've not, because loads of people and everybody and the mother and the grandmother, and they probably should have mentioned Charlie Kirk and him being assassinated and murdered and killed. And I saw a quote where that Charlie Kirk had said, empathy, I'd rather have sympathy than empathy. Well, because you can't know how somebody's felt. Well, you can know how somebody's felt, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, Charlie Kirk was, somebody said, preacher of our generation. He was an apologist, somebody who doesn't apologise for the Christian faith, but articulates it well and debates it and stuff. But I'd say, well, sympathy. I don't like the word sympathy because sympathy is, oh, there. And I was somewhere today and there was somebody who'd lost the partner 5 years ago. They'd sold the house, great house, swimming pool, everything.
Wow.
But sold the house, then moved in with somebody else and doesn't like the person now,
Shame.
but doesn't want to buy somewhere, won't rent somewhere because they think they're being ripped off. I said, well, what price do you put on your mental health? And what price do you put on your life and your freedom? And I said, and this, it's easier said than done. I said, well, the choice is yours. And the people I was with were so happy that I'd challenged her, and I do it empathetically because sympathy would go, oh, there, poor you, poor this, poor that, and it leaves them there. But compassionate leadership challenges people to get up and move on and do something. And I could empathise because I've been places where I don't want to live. But if I've been places where I don't want to live or unhappy with my life, we've moved on and moved out. So that's just something that I thought about the Charlie Kirk thing. It's funny that one quote that I saw, I actually don't agree with that. I believe in empathy because you can, if you've been through something, you do know how people feel. So that's true.
I think that's the
Empathy.
difference, actually,
Yeah.
because again, Charlie was only early 30s. If you've not experienced certain things in life, you can't be having empathy, which means that you feel that pain,
Jill, I understand
isn't
exactly
it?
what you're saying, and
So,
I've
yeah,
explained that. No, what I'm
yeah,
saying is he did not agree with empathy,
there you go. Yeah,
but empathy is very real. If I've been addicted to drugs or lost my dad at 13 or been involved in this or homeless or whatever, then I've got empathy towards somebody.
exactly.
That's what I believe. And look up the word empathy. Google it. People don't have dictionary anymore. To stay grounded, I take my leadership with a grain of salt and a sprinkle of empathy. Because who doesn't love a little seasoning in leadership? Conclusion: compassionate leadership is a journey, not a destination. We're growing in it, through it all the time. It requires continuous effort and reflection, walking in love, dying to self, as Christians say, or depersonalize it, or not taking it personal. And thank you for joining us on this amazing series. What are your thoughts on compassionate leadership and empathy? Put them down below and like, comment, share and subscribe, and it's goodbye from me.